very regularly with young people in high schools and elsewhere. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you today, but I'm a bit surprised, a bit puzzled that I was invited because, as you probably understood and read, well, I don't have a very long CV, you see. Mine is quite short. I'm a comedian. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I live in Le Havre. What I want to say is that after Charlie Hebdo terror attack, all of us were very sad, of course, and I got a phone call from a teacher in nearby high school in Le Havre, and she told me, you know, Ismaël, we are at a loss. Faced with those students, those pupils who didn't want to keep and respect minutes of silence in memory of the victims of Charlie Hebdo terror attack. And maybe you could do something for us and talk to them. And, I was very much surprised, and I was also at a loss. I was very sad because, Cabu had been murdered, and I loved Cabu. He was the guy I used to watch on TV as a child, and the guy who drew cartoons I loved. So, and I didn't know what I could possibly tell them, I thought, well, you see, maybe they called upon you because you are a comedian, you are a Muslim, and you are a practicing Muslim, and you are also someone who's used to caricature because you use humor to build your shows. But at the same time, you see, I'm not an imam, but I've got my faith, and I said, okay, let's meet the teachers and let's see, you know, why these teachers feel it is difficult to talk to their students and what sort of reactions they had. So I went to the high school, and there was all the students, all the pupils were there, and I had a feeling that I was back to school, and I was really sitting there about to be judged by my teachers, and this is exactly how it felt, you see, because there was the math teacher, the history teacher, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, all these teachers did their utmost to cope with the situation, but what can they do? Do they have the tools as teachers to deal with that? Now, of course, at the time, it is the first, so to speak. It is the first big terror attack on France, the starting point of a series of others. And, well, I'm wondering, anyway, if teachers have more tools today. Well, as comedian, I'm not a magician, you see. I don't have a magical wand to say that, you know, here we go, everybody's happy again, and everything is well. But I decided that maybe I could improvise a number of scenes to see where freedom of speech was meant to be for them. So we organized an interactive theater session. Well, it was made in a way that we were, as comedians, we were the tools for these young people to express themselves. So we asked questions, we put questions to them, and we used their feedback to invent, to improvise a scene.
provoqué lors de cette minute de silence. Et puis,
And so we
on a commencé à parler de la
started
liberté d'expression.
with, some questions on the freedom of
Très
speech.
simplement.
And we put the question to them very clearly, very
C'est quoi la
simply,
liberté d'expression?
very bluntly.
Alors
What's
forcément,
freedom of
nous,
speech
on le dit avec nos
for
mots à nous,
you,
hein. Moi, je suis comédien, et
in
j'essaye
your eyes?
vraiment de parler dans un français
And
soutenu,
I
celui de mes aïeux,
tried
Molière et
to
Voltaire.
use a very good
Là, dans cette classe, je me suis un peu laissé aller.
of course,
J'essaie
in
de
front
parler
of
un
you
peu plus
today,
direct,
I am
avec les jeunes
using,
que j'avais devant moi. Et du coup, leur réponse, c'est la liberté d'expression, on fait ce qu'on veut, on dit ce qu'on veut. C'est ça la liberté
in
d'expression.
good French,
Alors,
but
du coup,
when
on
I
partait,
talked to them,
on
of
montait
course,
sur
I
ça.
was a bit more
On
basic
partait de ça.
maybe, and
Puis du coup, on allait très
the
loin.
answer to our question about
Tellement
freedom
loin
of speech
qu'on
was,
arrivait à les
well,
choquer.
we want to do everything
Et comme on les
we should
choquait,
be allowed
ils nous
to
disaient,
do
non, mais
everything we
n'importe quoi,
want.
vous n'avez pas le droit d'être raciste,
And
monsieur.
then
Après,
we
on n'a pas le droit
went
d'être
for
raciste.
it, you see, and we
avez choqué.
even said
Donc, on reprenait.
racist things, and then they of course
changeait.
reacted
Puis on adaptait par rapport
and said,
aux
no, you
réactions
can't say
qu'ils
things
avaient.
like that. You can't be a
Puis,
racist. You can't.
il y a quelque chose qui est
And so we
assez excellent dans cette
gradually
manière
we
de
tweaked
fonctionner,
and we
c'est qu'on
fine-tuned
va
our
finalement
show
libérer la
or
parole.
our scenes. And the good
libérer
thing
la
with
parole,
that process is
c'est
that
qu'en
it
fait,
does
je viens
free
présenter,
people's
c'est parce que
a
finalement, mon
speech,
travail
and
à
it
moi, c'est
enables each and
juste
everyone to
de
express
jouer sur
oneself.
un plateau plus ou moins grand, devant plus ou moins de monde.
And of course,
Mais
this
là,
is
ce qui est
different
intéressant,
from
c'est que
being on stage
je
in
jouais pas
front
mon
of
texte à moi,
an audience.
je jouais pas un
Because
texte
when I'm
écrit
in
par un
front
bel
of
auteur,
an
je jouais le
audience,
texte
I'm either acting the
qui
part
était dans les
written
têtes
by
de ces
a
lycéens.
playwright or
Et du
acting
coup,
the
ça
part
permet
I
quoi?
wrote
Ça permet d'avoir
myself.
leur réaction.
Was
Ça permet de
in front
confronter
of
les
these
idées.
students,
Ça
I
permet
was,
aussi
and we
de
were acting
se dire, ah bah là,
on
non, je
behalf
suis
of
pas d'accord
them,
avec toi.
and
Puis ça
just
leur permet à
hold a
eux
mirror to their
aussi de débattre.
feelings
Et puis à
and
tous
to
les
their
lycéens qui finalement n'avaient
to
pas d'idées sur
what
le
they
sujet,
were telling us. And there
de
is also
s'en forger une.
a possibility for those who had
Bien sûr,
not
comme je vous l'ai
expressed
dit,
themselves,
on
maybe
n'est pas
to
magicien, donc on n'a
make up
pas
their minds
la possibilité
and see
comme ça
what
de
they
changer
really
tout
thought
de
about
suite
the matter.
ce qu'ils pensent de
But
mal
of course,
sur
we are not
la
magicians.
thématique.
We are
Parce qu'en
no
gros,
magicians, and
il y avait deux
we
types de
can't
discours, hein, par
we
rapport
can't really
à la caricature et à la liberté
solve
d'expression. On avait les lycéens qui
things.
disaient,
There were two types of
Charlie
feedback.
Hebdo, ils ont
Some
caricaturé le prophète, c'est interdit.
high school
interdit, bien sûr,
pupils who argued,
du coup, on
well,
a
you
joué ça,
know,
mais c'est interdit,
they
c'est interdit pour
published
qui?
a caricature of the
interdit pour les
prophet,
musulmans, d'accord, les
and they
musulmans,
have
c'est
no
pas une
right to do
association.
so.
Finalement, une
Okay,
communauté
it's forbidden
qui a
for
signé le
whom?
même
Well,
règlement
it's
intérieur.
forbidden for Muslims.
Tu joues au foot, tu respectes
But
les règles du foot.
and
Quand
we
tu joues au
argued, you
basket,
see, if you play soccer, you just
finalement, les
comply
règles du
with
foot.
soccer's rules. If you play basketball, you don't really need to comply with the
vous avez compris.
rules. So,
Et puis après, il y a eu,
Won't have
il y a
to
eu
labor
aussi
the
le
point,
paramètre Dieudonné.
I assume.
Dieudonné, ça a été
And
pour
then
nous,
there
là,
was
les
also
comédiens,
this
faut toujours qu'on choisisse son camp.
stand-up
Dès que vous êtes
comedian,
humoriste, on regarde
Dieudonné.
Dieudonné ou pas Dieudonné, faut
Dieudonné
choisir.
is someone
Et,
who was
du coup,
allegedly
l'argument que les lycéens,
who
ils donnaient,
allegedly
c'était,
issued
Dieudonné,
racist
lui, quand
statements.
il parle
And so
des
the
Juifs,
students
on
told
lui
us,
dit rien, et puis
well,
quand,
when Dieudonné refers
on
to the
parle des
Jews, no
musulmans,
one
tout
say, you
nous, le
know,
drôle,
no
c'est de
one
montrer que dans la
has got
liberté
anything
d'expression,
to
il y a un
say
cadre
about
légal.
it. Whereas when people
Et c'est ce
say
cadre légal qu'il faut
silly
respecter.
and
S'ils sont pas
bad
d'accord
things
avec le
about
cadre
Muslims,
légal, bah, il y a des
nobody
manières de
does
changer
anything
le cadre
about
légal,
it.
il faut s'inscrire sur les
And
listes.
so we should
faut aller
change
voter
this.
pour les
And
candidats
so this is where we
dont on
argued
estime
that they
qu'il a
had to,
ça, des bonnes idées.
well, first
Aujourd'hui, moi-même,
be
je suis un peu perdu.
on the list of voters
Mais en tout
and
vous
find
avez vu, il y a eu
a candidate
pas mal
for
de
whom
choses
they
qui se
would
sont dites.
like to vote.
Il y a eu pas mal de contradictions.
So, as
Il y a eu
you
pas mal
probably
d'argumentations.
imagine,
Il y a eu pas mal
there
de
were a
débats.
lot of contradictions, lots of
Et ce que
fierce
moi, je suis venu
discussions.
vous dire
And
aujourd'hui,
you
c'est
know,
que
the
ce qu'il faudrait, je pense,
summary
l'essentiel, c'est de libérer la parole des élèves. Aujourd'hui, on
of
est
what
dans un
I have to
système
tell
scolaire
you
où
is
les
that
profs,
it's important
un peu
to
comme ici,
let
là,
people,
ceux qui savent,
let
ceux
students
qui
and
écoutent.
pupils express
Moi,
themselves.
je suis plus du parti de me dire que
I think
ceux
it's-
qui écoutent, ils
this
ont
is-
aussi des choses à dire.
This
Parce
is
que
what is
surtout,
important.
s'ils ont des bêtises
And
dans
of
la
course,
tête,
pupils
c'est
are
surtout
here
parce
to
qu'ils ont des
listen
bêtises
to
dans la tête.
teachers, but I think teachers should give them the
Il faut qu'ils
floor
les disent.
because
Parce que
if they have
Quand on les
silly,
dit, on peut les
silly
contrôler.
ideas, it's best for us to
Du coup,
have them express
je vous
these
parlais
ideas. This is how you can do something about it. So 12 minutes isn't a lot. Maybe the gentleman before me thought it was too long, but for me it's too short. And to conclude, I just want to introduce one of the tools you can use, and we use, and maybe you can call upon other comedians where you are. Now, improvisation is absolutely great because it's based on, firstly, the fact of accepting others' ideas, and secondly, listening to others. And here's what I'd like us to do. If we were to tell a story all together here in this room, and all you have to say is say yes, it's your first part on stage, so let's keep it simple. So here's what we're going to do together. We are going to tell the story of someone. Say yes. It's a little girl, a little boy. They want to go out on the beach, and it's wonderful because it's very sunny. It's in Le Havre. All right. Let's say we are going to tell a story, but it's no again. A little boy, little girl, no, no. Okay. Well, no, you probably understood that if you start by saying no, you can't go much, you can't go very far. And of course, to accept other people's ideas, you need to listen to them. And there are only 25 seconds left, and for me to tell you that, well, let's be free and express ourselves, and you can talk to each other. Thank you.